In life, we're often encouraged to move on when relationships become challenging. However, sometimes the heart perceives what the mind cannot fully grasp. There are moments when we're called to remain, to understand, and to evolve. So, how do we discern whether we should hold on or let go? Let's explore 6 signs that may indicate the divine is urging you not to move on just yet. Certain individuals enter our lives not by chance but as part of a deeper, unseen design. These connections aren't random. They're woven into the fabric of our existence, carrying a significance that often transcends our understanding. Such relationships aren't merely about comfort or convenience. They're meant to teach, challenge, and elevate us. When a bond feels profoundly meaningful, it's worth considering whether its purpose has been fulfilled or if there's still more to uncover. Growth is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. Love that doesn't inspire growth eventually becomes a burden, a source of dissatisfaction and quiet resentment. A connection that no longer expands your soul will drain you, not necessarily because the other person is wrong for you, but because the relationship has ceased to serve its higher purpose. Growth doesn't always mean staying together, nor does it always mean leaving. It means recognizing whether the relationship is helping you become a better version of yourself. Are you evolving emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, or are you simply staying comfortable? Comfort is not the goal. Evolution is. Some relationships challenge us in ways that make us want to run. They bring up deep-seated fears, expose old wounds, and force us to confront parts of ourselves we've long ignored. In these moments, it's easy to mistake discomfort for a sign to leave. But not all discomfort is negative. Sometimes discomfort is the beginning of transformation. When a relationship encourages you to grow, to step into your power, and to see yourself more clearly, it's a sign that the connection may still hold value. Relationships that ask you to shrink, silence your voice, or become less than who you are, however, are not meant to last. Synchronicities and signs often appear as messages from the universe. Life communicates not only through words, but also through symbols, patterns, and timing. If you keep encountering reminders of someone, whether through recurring numbers, songs, or unexpected encounters, it's worth paying attention. These synchronicities aren't mere coincidences. They're invitations to reflect. They suggest that this person still holds significance in your journey, that there's something left to be understood or resolved. The heart often knows what the mind struggles to accept. Many people ignore their heart's wisdom because they fear it might lead to pain or uncertainty. Yet true peace comes when we stop resisting what we already know deep down. The mind may argue, but the heart already understands. It knows when a connection is sacred, when it's worth the challenges, and when it transcends the ordinary. Listening to the heart requires stillness, stepping away from external noise, opinions, and distractions to sit in silence with yourself. What remains when all voices are silenced? What truth lingers beneath the overthinking? That's where the answer lies. Synchronicities, signs, and inner knowing are not to be dismissed. When the universe continuously places someone in your path, when the bond endures despite time and distance, and when your soul refuses to let go, it's a call to look deeper. Love in its purest form isn't bound by expectations or the need for certainty. It flows freely, allowing room for transformation, healing, and understanding. If a connection continues to teach, challenge, and elevate you, perhaps it's not meant to be abandoned, but embraced. The greatest wisdom doesn't come from forcing an answer, but from surrendering to the truth that already exists within. Moving on isn't always the path to peace. Sometimes, staying present in the journey, even amidst its uncertainties, is what leads to true awakening. If love remains, if your heart continues to recognize something sacred in another, then the journey isn't over. Trust the process, trust the signs, and most importantly, trust the wisdom of your heart over the fleeting fears of your mind. Some connections are tied to fate. No matter how much time passes or how many obstacles arise, the universe keeps bringing two people back into each other's lives. The timing may not always align, and the path may not always be clear, but the presence of synchronicities serves as a reminder that there's something extraordinary about this bond. These relationships aren't ordinary. They're part of something greater, stretching beyond logic and reason. Observing these signs with awareness allows you to step back and ask, what is life trying to show me when faced with the decision? To move on, the mind often becomes a battlefield of conflicting thoughts. Logic and reasoning may push you to let go, while a quieter, deeper feeling resists, whispering, not yet. This inner knowing is profound, even if it defies external expectations. Societal pressures, past experiences, and fear of judgment can make moving on seem like the only option. However, decisions made from a place of restlessness rarely lead to closure. Instead, they create cycles of doubt, regret, and emotional backtracking. True clarity comes from aligning with your inner wisdom rather than reacting to external circumstances. Unfinished karmic cycles often manifest as unresolved threads in our lives. These connections demand our attention and presence, urging us to resolve what remains incomplete. The pull you feel to return to someone isn't always an illusion. It may be an indication that there's still something to be learned, healed, or understood. Moving forward with awareness means releasing the need for control and surrendering to the wisdom the connection offers. We stop asking whether we should move on and start asking what still needs to be understood. Ultimately, the journey of the heart is one of trust. Trust in the process, trust in the signs, and trust in the deeper purpose of your connections. When love remains, when the soul recognizes something sacred, the journey isn't over. Surrender to the flow of life and allow the answers to unfold naturally.